Selamlar. Erdem, sen yokken ufak bir değişim yaptık kodda. Pek bir şey eklemedik. Sadece yani bir script'in içindeki skor kontrol sistemini başka bir script'in içine aldık. Hani dolayısıyla sen aslında takip edebilirsin. Girdiğin noktadan itibaren kodu yazmaya devam edebilirsin yani.
Evet, tamamdır hocam. Ben
Okey.
çok şey yapamadım, bir an adapte olamadım, ondan yazamadım ama hani sonradan ben tamamlarım.
Hı. Şimdi, şimdi, şimdi de tamamlayabilirsin çünkü zaten bayağı az class. Yani bayağı az satır yazdık bak. Paylaşayım hemen. Şurası yani eklediğimiz kısım.
Hocam bir de ben
Onu da
o
kopyalayayım.
hataları çözdüm. Çok
Ha,
aslında
süper.
basit eksiklikler varmış. Mesela if bloğunun dışına
Hı.
almışım. O yüzden her okunduğu şeyde game over
Hı.
veriyormuş. Bir de
Ha, süper süper,
text'i
tamam.
tekrar tanımlamışım bir yerden. Start'ta
Hı hı.
text'i başına yazmışım bir daha. O yüzden o sorun olmuş.
Ha, evet evet, anladım. Evet, onu yapmak lazım. Mesela şöyle göstereyim. Onun bir örneğini hemen yapalım. Ben de arada kaçırıyorum onu. Şimdi mesela ekranı görebiliyor musunuz?
Evet hocam.
Şimdi burada şu more text, şu more text'le ve şu more text'le aynı. Şununla farklı çünkü şu text text'in içindeki text. Mesela şunu rename edeyim. Bu arada rename edebiliyorsunuz değişkenliğe. Şuna mesela text box diyeyim, tamam mı? Rename etmenin yöntemi de Shift F6 kısa yolu Rider'da. E, Ya da sağ tıklarsınız. Refactor rename dersiniz. Buradan rename edebilirsiniz. İşte girdiğiniz yeni ismi next derseniz bütün o değişkenin şeylerini değiştiriyor. Cancel derseniz de yapmıyor tabii. Şimdi şu text box üçü de aynı. Zaten birini highlight ettiğin zaman diğerlerini de highlight ediyor. Buradan sonrası İngilizce anlatayım. So these three text box variables are referencing to the same variable. But if I go inside my text, if I go inside my start function and write text, now this is grayed out because it's not used anywhere else inside my project. And this text box is different than this one because I initialized it inside my start scope. So these two curly brackets define a scope. So if I define a variable inside this scope, this variable will be only valid inside this scope. So let me just define another variable, okay? And it will be named text box inside scope. And if I want to reach it outside the scope like this, as you see, its color is red. This means that I cannot access this variable because it's defined outside the scope. So, for instance, if I want to access it inside my update function, I should define a variable like this outside the scope. So I'm going to call this text box outside scope. Okay. Okay, it should be text. And if I copy this and paste it here, it's, as you see, purple, as it should be, because now it can access it, because it's outside the scope. But it cannot access anything which is inside other scope, okay? And let's name this inside other scope, outside all scopes. Let's go refactor rename. So I can access text box outside all scopes, but I cannot access text box inside other scope. Actually, let me just. So do you see the difference? If I control click this, it's references here. But if I control click this, it references nothing. Cannot find declaration to go to. So this is the difference. Just keep that in mind. Okay, and what were we doing? So we don't need to do this. I'm going to actually delete this as well because we're referencing the same text box, like I said. And we were here. So as you see, let me just copy this to you. So if you want to continue writing code, you can do this. Okay, now we are going to edit this a little more. So if our next level index is bigger than our last level index, we should show game completed screen. This will be a function, by the way, but we don't have any functions named like this. So let's create a function, okay? So I go below and write public dot public show game. Actually, I'm going to copy this one and paste it here, and it won't return anything, so it should be called void. And it doesn't take any parameters inside. It just shows something. For now, let's just write debug.log. You have completed the game. And if our if we are not in our last level yet, we should load the next level index. And this function is starting to get big, so I'm going to move this part inside another function. How do we do this? So I'm trying to come up with a nice name for my function. Maybe maybe we can call this go to next scene if exists. And let's create this as a function. By the way, Rider is giving me an warning with green line, and it is saying that this method can be made private. So I'm going to make this private. And go to next scene is if exists will be also a private function. I'm going to copy this name and edit here. And now I'm going to, oops, I clicked somewhere else. I'm going to cut this part. And let's name this void, by the way. I'm going to cut this part, Control X, and paste it here with Control V. So now, logically, nothing has changed, but we are basically making our code cleaner, you know. So go to next scene if exists, checks if we have a next scene. If we have some next scene, we go to that with here. And if we don't have our next scene, it shows us game completed screen. For now, show game completed screen does not work properly, but we will edit this later. Let's see how we are doing in our game. Okay. So I can start from level 0, but I can also start from level 2 to make it shorter. So I double click level 2, it's here, level 2, you know, as you see. And if I hit play, now I start from level 2. And as you see, inside our console, it showed me you have completed the game. Nice. So instead of this, we will show this message in our game. Okay, this is our next goal. So how do we do that? So we are basically enabling our level completed panel every time, but we shouldn't do that every time. We should do that when it's either level 0 or level 1, because if our game is finished, we should not show level completed panel, you know. And because of that, I'm going to cut this and put this here, so it shows level completed panel for some time, then it loads the next scene. Let's try this. So for that, I'm going to go to level 0. And after showing me level completed message, it jumped into the next level, which is fine. But I would want it to show this level completed panel for some time, then loading the next thing. So how do we do that? I'm going to create another method which will be load next scene after delay. And this will take an integer parameter, which will be next level index. Okay. And it will return nothing, so it should be private void. And it will load our next scene like this. But we will need invoke method for it for this method to be delayed a bit. Okay, so invoke is a method which gets two parameters. First parameter is the method name, and the other parameter is the time parameter, which will be a float. And it invokes the methods after some time. So this is something useful. And I'm going to copy this method name here. Actually, let me just delete this. So since I need to give it a method name, I need to move this inside another method. Let's call this private void load next scene. And it will be required to pass an integer inside it. And now I'm going to cut it and paste it here. And I'm going to call this load next scene method inside my invoke method with some parameter, of course. And I'm going to also provide a time in milliseconds, you know. Let's see that. Argument type void is not assignable to parameter type string. Oh, okay. So it's once a method name in strings. So let's do it like this. But now we need to reach our next level index from somewhere else. Okay. I'm going to try out something. Let's make this next level index reachable from everywhere else. Okay. So to do that, I'm going to actually define it outside the scope like this. And I'm going to delete this integer. So it references the next level index, which is up here. And I won't need this part here. And now my load next scene accesses the next level index, and it immediately jumps to our next scene. So there's a little warning, but it's not quite. So and we need to use this load next scene after delay method inside here. By the way, since it is our own methods, you should not call it like this. You should call it like this. So there's no scene manager inside it. This is our own method. Oops, I clicked somewhere else. Let me go to my game manager scripts again. So let's talk about this once more, okay? So upon my level completion, we go to next scene if it exists, okay? And inside this, if there's a next level, we load next scene after some delay, okay? To have some delay, we invoke load next scene methods after 1000 milliseconds, which is 1 second. And after that, we call the methods inside here. So load next scene is here, and it basically loads the scene with next level index. Next level index is defined on top, by the way, and it is incremented here. So when it arrives here, next level index will be something like 1 or 2 or something like that. By the way, since there's only one line of code here, I'm going to actually simplify this by Control X, deleting this part, and you know, doing something like this. So now, when there's a next scene, we invoke load next scene after 1 second. So it's more simplified like this. Any questions? It can be confusing a little bit. There's, sorry, yeah, I wrote X here, unfortunately. So there was a typo here. Okay, now I fixed that. Any questions so far? Sweet. Okay. Let's try this in action. I'm in level 0 now. So it shows this for some time. I guess it shows it for 10 seconds before moving to the next. Okay, it's made me wait too much. Let's adjust this time to 10 and let's try. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And next level starts. Okay, I just want to wait 1 second. So I'm going to write 1 here. I thought it was in milliseconds, but it's not. It's actually in seconds. 1. And yeah. So now it's all looking nice. I'll check my notes again. So we made some levels. We went between levels. Now I'm going to add, by the way, we moved our score logic inside our text box. So now I just want to add some Roboto fonts, and I'm going to talk about events a little bit. But firstly, let's add Roboto fonts. So our text box is filled with boring Arial text. You can change it fairly quickly by Googling Roboto fonts. And you go to Google Fonts and you can download family. So there's a zip file that has all different Roboto fonts. Italic Roboto, bold italic Roboto, etc. And you can open the zip file. I'm going to copy this folder, and I'm going to actually go to my assets folder and create a folder which will be named fonts. Fonts is a special name, by the way. I'm going to drag Roboto font inside fonts. And now if I go to this part, I can change to any other different uh, fonts. When I'm moving to different fonts, as you see, the screen gets updated, And I'm going to use a nice italic, bold italic Roboto font. And I'm going to change game over panel to that as well. So there's a text, and I can change the font of it too. To, I don't know, let's make this Roboto light italic, and let's make this level completed text Roboto tip. Okay, so you can see some different fonts in action. Interesting. For some reason, my score text doesn't get updated. Let's, yeah, okay, there's a bug for certain, because it shouldn't work like this. Yeah. Okay, let's go to Arial and see if it's working properly. Now it's not working as well. I guess I disabled something by accident. Yeah, probably. Let's check this. Oh, my score modifier is 0, so this is why. Let's make this 5 again. For some reason, I accidentally changed it to 0, I guess. So now I can jump between levels, and my score. Oh yeah, I remember. So I added score multiplier in level 2, but I did not change my score multiplier in level 1 or level 0. So I need to adjust my score modifier to, for instance, in level 0, it will be 2. Okay. In level 1, my score multiplier will be 3. And in level 2, my score modifier will be 5. Okay. So by the way, you need to adjust all fonts one by one, unfortunately. So now I'm going to, change this font to Roboto by hand. Roboto italic is nice. And I'm going to hit save and go to our next level. I will change my font to Roboto as well. Hit save, and in our last level, I'm going to make Roboto italic as well. So any questions thus far? Oops. Yeah. Okay. Um, I mean, technically, you could add some animations too uh, before before showing uh, this level completion scene, but I'm not sure if we will have time for that. For now, let's just go inside our level 2 and create another panel, okay, which will be game completed panel. So I'm going to hit Control D here when I'm in level 2, and I'm going to rename this to game completed panel. Okay, and inside this it will be written game won, like this. And I'm going to change this name as well, which will be game completed text. And I'm going to assign it inside score tracking script. Sorry, game manager script, which is here. And I'm going to go inside my scripts. And I'm going to find my game completed panel. And um, I'm going to initialize it from the editor, but uh, if uh, if I completed my scene and oops, if I completed my scene and if I go if I arrive here inside the code, uh, if I'm in the last scene, I want it to show game completed screen. Okay, so here I'm going to um, enable this game completed panel, which will be um, game completed panel dot game object dot set active true. So let's try that in action. Oh, I hit. Sorry about that. Nah, it's too hard for me. Let's try this. Ah, okay. There's an error. It's unassigned, unfortunately. So let's assign it. I always forget that. Game complete panel is dragged here. And now let's try the video. Yeah. And our score is shown like this too. So our score gets updated until we stopped moving. We disable our movements behavior script, but since we have forward force, we uh, we continue going forward a little more until air friction stops us. But yeah, this is all I wanted to cover. Also, maybe we could add um, some quit button uh, inside our um, inside our game completed panel. So I'm going to add um, UI button, which will be inside my game completed panel. And I'm going to call this quit button. And I'm going to write quit button. And I'm going to create another method which will be restart button. And I'm going to name this one restarts the game. And I'm going to move this inside my game completed panel. And my quit button and restart button is at the same place currently. So I'm going to move my restart button a little down like this. By the way, I'm going to enable it for now just to see it. So now we have two buttons in our screen. You could add a background sprite to our button, or you can change its color basically. Let's make this a little red, and let's make the other one, I don't know, bluish maybe. Oops, like this. And when you hover, it gets a little darker, like this. And when you hover your quit button, it gets highlighted like this. So it's more darker, like this. So let's see that in action. Oops, I should disable this game completed panel at the start. So when I hover over them, as you see, these buttons change color. When I click those, nothing happens though. So I want to restart my game by using by calling a function. And to do that, inside my menu, I can just do, actually I'm going to do this, but first we will give a break of 10 minutes, okay? After that, see you later.